Welcome back. This video is to describe to you how to draw the sketching title block A for the portrait orientation. Portrait orientation is when it's longer vertically. If I rotate it, that would be landscape. So this is in the portrait orientation. So what I want you to start with is a borderline. So I've used this technique before, but I'm going to use a pencil to draw and the edge of the paper, or the board and the paper, to draw a borderline. I'm making this borderline about 1/2 of an inch away from the edge. At this point it's kind of insignificant as long as it's equal all the way around the edge. And this last side, or this shorter side, I'm actually going to draw 2 lines because I want to draw a line for a title block. Okay? So now, very similar to the way we've done before, the first thing I want to do is I want to identify this as a border line. So write down the word borderline. Point to that line, and then draw an arrow up to that line also. I'm going to give this a title right now. I want to call this Sketching Title Block A. And then this is going to be Portrait. I'm going to give that a little title. Okay, we'll zoom in on that for just a second. So now I want to draw your attention to the bottom half of this paper. And to do that, I'm going to adjust my screen a little bit here so that you can see that a little bit better. There we go. Okay. In the lower right-hand corner, I want you to make a box. So however tall you drew the title block, that's how wide you'll make it. And then I want you to move over about 3 times that size. So that, well, that actually looks a little less, but a box bigger than the first one. And then with what's ever left over, I want you to divide that into thirds. Just like that. Okay. Now I'm going to move above this title block a few inches, and I'm going to write down the words "your name." And I want you to draw a box around this. And this first box is going to have your name. Below that, I want you to write the word project title, or unit title. Let's draw a box around there. And I'm drawing that box around there, but I'm making the corners round. And then I'm going to point down to that box. So this first box is going to have your name. The second box will have the project title, and in this case I'm going to write in the unit title as well. Let's go ahead and put your name in here. I'm going to put 2 layers of lines, or 2 layers of lettering. So the first thing I'm going to do is write in my name, my first name, and below that I'm going to put in my last name. In the next box, we're going to write in the word sketching. Try to make those verticals as close to vertical as you can. And then unit 1. Remember, everything on this page is architectural font. And then over here, the next box, I want you to write in the page title, and then the word scale. That goes in this box right here. For this particular assignment, I want you to write down portrait. And then for the scale, for this particular page, I want you to write down full. I'm going to put one next layer here. I'm going to write the word date. And below that, I'm going to write down today's date. And draw an arrow to that. And then I'm going to write down the word date with a colon, and below that, today's date. Oops. Finally, this last box over here is for the page number. So what we do is we write on here the word, I'm going to use this area right here to put in some notes. I'm going to write down the word page. And I'm going to put the words page number, and then like a slash, and below that, number of pages. And if we had an assignment, or if we had a set of drawings that was 50 pages, but the last page said 45, unless you had some kind of a symbol here, you wouldn't know that you were missing the last 5 pages. So go ahead and draw a square box around there the best you can. Got a little wonky there, but it's a sketch. Put it down here. Now, for this assignment, put in the page as 3-A. Okay. I'm going to readjust to show you that we're almost done with this part of this assignment. Anything that's within the borderline is called the working space. So what I want you to do is, in this area right here, write in the words working space. That'll become important when we start doing our CAD program. We'll draw some arrows in here. So this is the working space. We don't have any of our drawing that will be outside of the borderline. Anytime you need to draw a sketch in the portrait orientation, you need to use this title block. Okay? Now that you're watching this, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to go back and find this page that we did when we started talking about architectural font. And what I'd like you to do is I would like you to draw a border and title block around this. So I'm going to draw a title block around this. I'm using that technique of holding my pencil to the edge, holding the paper on the edge, lining it up perfectly with the edge of the board, and then I draw a line. Typically we don't have things outside of the borderline, but you know, we started this a day that we weren't able to quite finish. There we go. And then on the bottom, I want to draw a straight line. Now I'm going to try my technique of drawing a line that's parallel. You draw short lines if you like, any line that you could do, but remember, no tools on a sketch. So I'm going to draw the dimensions here, or pardon me, the boxes in here. This is for my name. Put your name in here. The title of the unit is called lettering. And it's still Unit 1. Okay. Now, I would like to write in the word architectural font, but it's not going to fit. So I'm going to put arc font. That's our page title. And I'm going to put in here that the scale, we're going to put in NTS for not to scale. There's no scale here. We just gave this a guess. Put in the date. Today's the 21st. And the page number on this one right here is going to be page 1A. Okay. So we just used that portrait title block for an assignment we had done previously. Okay. All right.